I see it all the time when running is someone's identity, and running can be taken away like that with an injury, and then what happens to your identity? You're mad, you're upset with yourself, and your identity's now missing, right? It was sort of like, if running's not going well, then I'm not okay. It just took some correcting and some like big picture stuff. Like, running is not my identity. It's what I do. It's what I do for health, honestly. Like, that's really the thing behind it. It's really fun, and I have grown to love everything about it and the community. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just to be healthier so I can live a long time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with a legend, Mitch Ammons. Welcome to the Running Effect podcast. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
In your homeland of Texas, you run on the loop downtown, and you'll hear your name talked about in just about any group you pass as the guy, the fastest marathoner in Austin. Do you take pride in being the guy that's talked about, the pride of Austin?
I don't know.
You're humble, but...
I'm not the fastest guy in Austin anymore. We've got a faster guy.
Is important. How long did you hold the title?
I probably held it like a year and a half.
Okay.
Since I ran my second most recent marathon.
Gotcha.
And then and then we've got a new guy. He's a BPN athlete now.
Isn't his name Haftu?
Yeah,
Haftu.
Yeah, he's a real deal.
Yeah. What's crazy is, and Jeff would probably debate me, maybe I'll debate him, use the podcast as an opportunity to debate him.
I
but
love
like
that. You
Austin,
should.
Austin's really not the place to run. Austin's not the place to train to run fast, in my opinion.
Jeff will debate that with you.
Yeah, it's interesting. So maybe you view his side, but like, have you ever thought, how much faster could I be if I lived in Flagstaff or Boulder?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it, and I've done altitude camps a number of times. It wouldn't be worth it to me to live somewhere else other than Austin, even for the better training, even to get better, even to be faster. I just love it. I love Austin so much. The people here. I mean, the people at BPN, the people in the city, all of our fitness community is why I stay here. I think it's better than anything in the world.
It's funny you say that. I'm smirking and smiling. The first time I ever met you was the first date of my life.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. But now 2 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
And even something like that, I think we're at a random like pumpkin patch carving party. I do think Austin has like a really unique community where people are just like really nice. And I think where it comes from, you lived here way longer than I lived here for that brief stint. But no one is really from here. And so I think everyone knows what it feels like to be new.
You know what? That's a great point.
Yeah.
Because everyone was new at one point, and someone was nice to them, and so I think that they sort of pay it forward. I pay it forward.
Right.
When I was new here, maybe not new to Austin, but new to fitness, there were so many people that just invited me to runs, invited me to workouts, invited me to happy hours. I feel like it's pretty unique about Austin. I've run all over the country and for different periods of time, and it's never been as welcoming as Austin.
Do you remember first time you heard BPN or Nick Bear?
Yeah.
When was it?
I got a message from Nick Bear via Instagram for his podcast, like in 2019 or something. We just did a podcast a few months ago, but what he asked about the podcast, and then he also asked if I'd pace him for a 5-minute mile, and I was like, sure, it sounds great. I did not really know anything about Nick or BPN at that point. And I won't lie, and I've said this to Nick, I was skeptical. I was skeptical of all of it. I was like, yeah, it's cool, but like whatever. And then I got to know everybody, and I got to know Nick, and I was like, man, I drank the Kool-Aid is what I say. I am all in on the BPN Kool-Aid just because of the quality of person that BPN attracts is really the reason for it.
I think for many things in life, when you see it, you can't unsee it. And I think when you meet the people behind BPN, it's fascinating because using the products in working with other brands, my heart tends to go that way. Where if I worked with a Nike, it's like, okay, I'm going to talk about the Alpha Flies. BPN is, I feel like, the only company I work with or honestly know of where you don't even talk about the thing they sell. You talk about the people in the community.
1,000%.
And it makes it fascinating. I don't know of any other company like that.
It's a community. It's a community first that people want to be a part of, and then they buy the products because of that. But it's truly a community, and it's like you want to be a part of the big piece. Yeah. And I think the business is so successful because being included, and then you just buy the products just cause.
Right.
But I think it's just being a part of something, a community. And I talk about community in almost every podcast or conversation even. It's like the most important thing to me. I think it's truly changed everything. And I'll even say that it's unique to Austin, the Austin community. So
on social media or TikTok, you'll see people hating on the Red Hat Warriors.
Oh yeah, I see it all the time.
What's your take on that, and why do you think there is such a almost aggression towards people associating with something positive?
I literally have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no... I could say, as an outsider at one point, it was a little cultish looking, but now that I'm in it, I'm like, yeah, I'm all in the cult. I'm a cult member. No, not really. No, I don't really understand it.
I know what you mean, though. It's like, sorry to interrupt here, but it's like BPN, the community is a great thing. Is buying into that a bad thing?
Right, that's what I mean. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's that is exactly right. And I mean, I hate to say it, but like jealousy, I don't know. It is just such, you can go all over the country and go to a BPN meetup or whatever, someone that's a part of it, and you're accepted. Like, who wouldn't want that? It's friends everywhere. I don't understand why it ended up. I mean, I kind of do. Nick, it was very, very curated by Nick. The whole thing was a plan, but why does it attract such a quality person, like such a nice, quality, hardworking person? I don't really know. I think it probably started with Nick and his practices, and it bled down into the company, and everyone here works harder than everyone I know. Like, they all work so hard in fitness and in their career. And so I just think that's what it attracts. Nick BPN did they obviously do the ultras, and then they were going to do this like quick pop-up 800-meter relay race. The ultras, they not only sell out, but you get thousands and thousands of applicants. They didn't get anything for the 800-meter relay. People. And Nick, and he at our athlete weekend, he was telling us, he was like so puzzled, but it's because the people that BPN attract, they don't want some one-off like, oh, let's just go jump in that. They want something months down the road that they have to strategically plan out everything that goes into it leading up. And then they want to slowly check off each of those goals and then get to that point and have had worked very hard that whole time to get there. And that was like an epiphany. I was like, that is literally it. It attracts people that want the challenge, want to work hard. And I mean, we don't give up. Like, just keep going.
Yeah. I feel like it attracts people who are in it for the long run, like business, relationships,
Absolutely.
Running.
Yeah.
And so it's naturally the type of person who wants those type of challenges. Rather, anyone could run a 100. Like,
Right.
you could be so out of
Anyone
shape.
could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And you can chalk it up too as like, didn't really want to push today.
Correct.
But your heart and your soul get revealed in an ultra.
That's right.
I did an ultra marathon last November off of like no running, maybe like probably 20-mile weeks, because I was kind of taking a step back. I was burnt out and saw this race pop up on a calendar, super technical trails in Ohio, 50K. And I was like, I want to prove to myself that I can do this off of like no training or no formal training. And for me, I didn't even post about it, because for me, if I posted about it, well, then there's more reason, there's more motivation in the back of my head.
1,000%.
And so,
I use that all the time.
I think only my parents knew. Only my parents knew. And the funny thing too is, and you'll meet her tonight if you're coming to Terry Black's.
Yeah.
My girlfriend, I don't even think we had gone on one date at that point. We're over 10 months into dating now. And that early into dating, you're not like aware of like texting, how long you're waiting to reply. It just doesn't matter at that point, because you're one date in, you're not officially dating. So I didn't reply to her in the morning. And I text her like 6 hours later after doing the 50K. Like, I go, hey, I'm so sorry. Because again, I didn't want to be the guy that was like, oh, I just did a 50K. I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I had an obligation this morning. Like, I'm back on. And she was like, no worries. I assumed you were like running a 50 miler or something. And I was
really?
Actually, I was running a 50K. And she's like, no way. But yeah, for me, I wanted to do something where you didn't publicize it. And I'd be curious to get your take on that in the world of Strava and Instagram and Twitter, like the beauty of just going out and ripping without really anyone knowing.
Well, I'll just be honest. I struggle with that. I struggle with self-accountability. I feel like I have a lot of discipline, so I do it. But something like that, like jumping into doing an ultra, I feel like I need a little more accountability. So I share stuff on Instagram, because there have been a number of times where I've talked about doing something, and then leading up to it, I'm like, dang, I really don't want to do that. Like, whether it's because I'm afraid it's going to hurt, or because I'm afraid I'm not fit enough, but because I've talked about it and I'm like, I've already shared it, I got to do it. And then I do it. I've never really faced like a time where I've really needed to hold, I don't know, training. I hold myself accountable in training. No one sees the training. That is my one non-negotiable, that I wake up every morning and I go train.
Would you do it if no one knew about it?
I think I would. I think I would train. I think I like being fit for myself. I mean, obviously, like racing for the attention and the fun and the competitiveness. Like it's really fun. But fitness and fitness for life. Like I think I would never change that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's a super impressive skill set, but I also don't want to demonize people who want accountability, because I think it's a positive thing.
I have both.
And that's why I think hiring a coach is so impactful, is because you feel such a fire of like, this person is going to know. And I don't know what you'd call him, a life coach, or his Instagram handle is Die Without Regrets. You may have seen some of his work.
I have.
And he's a coach of some sphere. I don't know if it's life coach, business coach might be the way. And there are so many times where I was like, dude's going to get on me if I'm not doing this deep work block or some of the different non-negotiables. Slash just having someone to check in with on progress and on mindset and on, it makes you feel like you're not doing something by yourself.
1000%.
So I think it goes both ways. I think life is chapters and periods, and I think there are periods where that solitude makes a lot of sense. And then I think there are periods where it's like, everyone should know and you should be held accountable, and there's beauty in showing everything. Yeah. I think it's, where do you fall on that spectrum, and what makes sense for that chapter? Because sometimes there's actual beauty in someone posting everything, including the like shit days. And I give those people their flowers, but I also give the people their flowers who they show up to the start line. You have no clue. They win a race, and then you hear everything after the fact. And it's like, oh, that's cool.
No,
too.
I think, and I've done that a few times too. I do like that as well. I did that Austin Marathon last year. I was going to go run it for fun. And then I went out to the start line, and I was looking at the elite corral, and I was like, maybe I should give this a go. And so I was literally going to go jog it with the other, not jog it, but I was going to run it a little slower with the BPN athletes. And so I sort of snuck my way into the front, and someone let me in, but I saw an opportunity, and then I won the race. Having planned to just go run it, like no fitness.
Wow.
I ran.
Was your wife confused?
No, I kind of told her I was going to go scope it. Okay. I was going to go scope it out and just see if I saw anyone that I thought would be trouble. And I mean, walking up there, I was like, I was hoping I saw some people so I didn't have to do it. But it looked pretty good. And I was like, I'll give it a go. And so I went out with the front pack. I made a move around mile 11 or so. Maybe 12, and it was the half marathon, Austin half. I made a move and then came away with a win. Austin Marathon makes the winner look really cool. Yeah, they really, really do.
It's a running city at this point.
Yeah, I mean, but like the confetti cannons and like the cool. Chute coming down the finish line is just epic. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, I think sometimes breaking down those like bigger goals into small goals and then checking it off. So I paced a guy. Do you know Zach Tallender? Tallender. He was roommates with Chris Williamson, and he's like a country music artist, but he recently started running. He's running a mile or more every single day. Oh, that's cool. And he's on like day 95. And yesterday he found out I was in town, so he's like, do you want to pace me for a 5K PR? It's 95 degrees and sunny. But what I told him is I go, we run one lap, and then we reassess. We run, because if we're talking about 12 laps at this pace, it's just going to crumble mentally. Right. And the sports psychologist who works with NAU and Galen Rupp and some of the best, she was telling me on a podcast back in the day, we don't quit because of present pain. We quit because of the perception of pain down the road. 1000%. So it's like no pain is unbearable in the moment. It's the thought of that pain in 5 miles. So one of my favorite stories is Galen Rupp, 2016 Olympics, places third in the marathon. First time in a while an American man had medaled in the Olympics, and he had to break it down. He had to break it down by lamppost for 10K.
Yeah, which
is crazy. And then I've thought about sharing the story publicly. I don't think I ever have, because I think I was told in confidence. But I won't share who told it to me. So Des Linden wins Boston. Yeah. 2018, I believe. Yeah. You know the story. Of course. Terrible weather. Yeah. Horrible. XYZ. I'll deny if anyone comes after me for how I know this stuff. Brooks, apparently, from my understanding, I could be wrong on the details, so take my word loosely. There was some sort of contract stipulation where she had to run the race to keep her present contract. Otherwise, Brooks would cut her to a certain extent. Because with these sponsors, you have to run X amount of races.
Yeah, for sure.
She was, I think, injured or something. There was some adversity in the build-up where she wasn't very fit. Yeah. And so she literally showed up to fulfill a contract obligation. And then her plan was to go through halfway and then drop out because it was just about kind of PR. Right. Showing up, checking the contract, giving the contract.
I think the rule is you go halfway, you get paid.
That adds up. So when you look at the start line, why do you think she was the most dressed one?
Because she was going to drop.
Yeah. So it ended up working out.
She was dressed a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It ended up working out where people are like, why'd you dress so much? She overdressed because she wanted to be warm and not miserable, wasn't focused on the win. Gets to halfway, says, I'm actually feeling pretty good. Keeps going. Shalane drops back to use the bathroom. In her mind, she's like, I'm going to drop out. I want to help my fellow American. That's why she dropped back to help Shalane, bring Shalane back into the pack, and then did the same thing. It was just like mile by mile. People kept splitting, and she's like, oh, I could win this. Keeps going.
That's a cool story.
So, yeah.
The way you said that, you don't quit, or you don't.
You never quit because of pain being unbearable in the moment. You quit because of the perception of future
I've never
pain.
heard it that way, but that's it's what I tell my friends and people that I train with, and I feel that way all the time. And I know when it hurts, I'm not quitting because it hurts now. I'm worried about being able to finish. And so I do this in every single race. I'm like, make it another mile. If you still feel as bad, then quit. And I never feel that bad. And that happens 10 times a race. And someone was telling me the other day, he did an all-out mile for the first time in years. And he's a big cyclist. He's great. He's really good at it. And he's like, I don't mind hammering on the bike. Like I can hammer on the bike all day, and I like it. He's like, but hammering on a run and like really going to the well is a completely different story. It's like full body shutdown. And he was telling me how he was looking for he's like, could I trip? Could I fall? Could I fake a hamstring pull or whatever it was? And I was like, dude, that goes through my head every single race. Like, could I just like pretend to fall and then drop out? Like every single race. And the other thing that goes through my head, and he was telling me he doesn't like running hard because he hits these like negative thoughts about wanting to quit. Why am I doing this? I hate running, blah, blah, blah. Every single race I do, I'm in the middle or towards the end of it, and I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't like it. I'm not having fun. This hurts like a motherfucker. Like, what am I even doing here? I'm quitting as soon as I finish. And then you cross that finish line, and it's like, that wasn't that bad. Yeah. I'm done now. Yeah. And so that helps me not to quit is that knowing as soon as I get to that finish line, I can just stop. Like, that's all. And then you're done. And then it doesn't hurt anymore. But I have not quit every race with those thoughts.
Wow. Yeah. For me, this is like psychotic. I don't think this is a healthy thought to think, but I used to just rip workouts back in the day in high school, trying to be great. And I remember I was in so much pain at so many points where I'd just be like, if a car hit me right now, I wouldn't mind.
Bro, all the time.
So bad.
I'm doing my workouts on this busy ass street in the bike lane, and I'm blowing through a stop sign because I'm not, I'm a pedestrian running. I'm not gonna stop. But like cars, at least where I live, are not great. But I'm like, I don't even care if they hit me. I'm like, I'm hurting so bad. I'm not getting out of their way. If they hit me, then at least I'm done. Dude, that's wild. That I have those exact same thoughts.
But then I always remember having that thought, and then the next thought being like, are you okay? Like, that's not a... And then the other funny one was like my sophomore year, went to visit my oldest sister in Florida who was living there at the time. And I was like terrified of crocodiles. And I remember being in so much pain. And I was just like, if a crocodile comes up and eats me, like,
that's a different story. Yeah. I think I'd still be afraid of a crocodile. That's insane. Car, not so much, but a crocodile.
Yeah. I think that would have given me some flight or fight instinct.
Yeah, for sure.
And picked it up. So yeah, it's hilarious. The things runners tell themselves
Oh, dude,
are
it's
nuts.
wild. The internal dialogue. Yeah. I go back and forth on every single hard workout and every single race. I contemplate quitting every single time, but then I just don't do it.
How many or how often should you have those workouts that are that hard where you're questioning quitting?
I think this is kind of a debatable subject. I'm on the side that probably gets a little flack for it, but I go pretty hard in workouts.
Okay.
I think it's made me a very tough runner because I essentially, and I try and do it a lot less now, but I used to race every workout, like every last few reps or whatever end of a tempo, I'm like racing. And I don't think that's super advantageous for training because the recovery takes so much longer. But I think it's made me very mentally tough. I can kind of feel the pain and then just kind of look past it. So like, this is awful, but whatever. But I think you can get that from training really hard, like racing workouts, basically. I think the downside is way worse than any potential upside of overtraining and getting hurt. And I mean, overtraining is the biggest one because you're not recovering after each workout. But I mean, I go hard in workouts, and
you've seen God before in workouts.
Oh, you bet. And I made some pretty big leaps, I think, because of it. And now I've sort of not necessarily plateaued, but I'm not making as big of leaps as I was before. And so I've really sort of tried to rein it back a little bit and try and finish a workout like being able to do another rep if I had to. But I go back and forth, and I think there's a time and a place for both. But that's kind of my opinion on it. How
does that mix with Jeff, who, from my understanding, is way more, get to first base, don't hit a home run?
Yeah, I think the number one thing Jeff yells at me is stay in control. And I say, brother, I was out of control 9 miles ago. Don't tell me to go back into control. I lost control forever ago. Yeah, he is much bigger on like consistency and not medium effort, but not going all out.
Yeah.
Does not like that. But I mean, it's worked for me. It's worked for me for a long time. I made huge jumps. And I also think I've kind of dipped into the ultra world now. I've never trained for an ultra. I've just marathon trained and then used like residual marathon fitness. And I have a theory that marathoners can run ultras. It's
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I ran one off of no.
Exactly.
I think ultras are more about your mindset and less of your physique.
1000%.
But I think if any event matches up best with an ultra, it is the marathon.
And another, I think 50K and 50 mile have a little overlap especially with marathon training, but like a last man standing style, the winner is not the best runner. I mean, it could be, but the winner is not going to be determined by who's the most fit or who's the best runner. It's going to be.
It's a running sport.
No, yeah, it's a mental toughness sport.
Yeah,
it's literally what it is. You trash your legs 30 miles in, you're trashed, and then you're just mentally. It's all mental from there. I did not have that mental toughness at the last man standing. I'm working on it. For the next one.
Are you going to run it again?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to run it again.
But do you think that was a byproduct of how you knew Kim would literally die out there?
Big time, yeah.
Yeah, because I think you would have gone way further.
I don't think I would have gone. I had a lot of back and forth in my head of what I wanted to do. I hated being a quitter. Technically a DNF. I had never DNF'd a race. I actually DNF'd a race 2 weeks ago for the first time ever.
Okay.
Because I sprained my ankle and I rolled it like 5 times, and then the last time it just like swelled up huge and I couldn't even step. So I DNF'd that race. It was a 50K. But before, like last man standing, when I was making that decision, I consciously made the decision. And before the race, a few people told me, don't quit in the chair. And I quit in the chair. And it was like I'm just done. I'm not going back out there. And a big part of it was I knew Kim and Kendall were not stopping anytime soon. I was like, I could get third now, or I could get third tomorrow.
An hour.
Why not do it right now?
Yeah.
Anyway, I will go into this next one a little bit more mentally prepared now, kind of knowing what it's about. And also knowing that like 150 miles, 200 miles is the minimum. Before it was like 100 is the minimum. Anything over that's bonus, just because most I'd ever run was 50, and that was just the year prior at the BPN Survive the Night. So I got a taste for the ultras, and I really like it. It's really fun. I think the people that it attracts are a little more laid back and are there to more so have fun, compete, but also have a great time. Yeah, I'm pretty hooked on ultras. I'll do another marathon because I want to qualify for the trials again.
Sure.
But I'm gonna probably do more ultra heavy. Yeah.
Okay, I love it.
It's so fun.
Do you think your fastest marathon days are behind you?
Well, they're gonna have to not be if I want to qualify for the trials.
Okay. What's the new mark? 2:15.
2:16. So sub 2:16. So 2:15:59, and I've run 2:16:01.
Oh wow.
So I kind of wish it was like 2:13 or 2:12.
Yeah.
So that I'm just like, whatever.
Right, but you're 2 seconds away.
Literally right there. And the race that I did where I ran that PR was laps. It was like 8.5 laps around a lake. It was called the McCurdy Micro Marathon. It was like a trials qualifier. But it was very hard to take the tangent because it was literally a circle.
Right.
And so I ran a little long, which everyone was kind of expecting that. But I think maybe in a straight ahead course, I would have run sub 2:16. But the mental block is just like knowing what I did to get there and knowing I have to do it again.
Right.
And that, and then some, right? So like do what I've done before and then some. Time is an issue. My job's an issue. The heat's not really an issue, but, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah. What do you care about most in life? Like what's your top priority? 'Cause for me, I'm struggling these days with like my value with you here right now is infinitely higher than an hour of running to me.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I struggle.
My top priority is my wife, my dogs, and the community. Like, my wife, my dogs, for obvious reasons. This Austin running and fitness community, like, truly saved my life. I don't know how much you know about my history. But
yeah, I do. Tell it for the people, though.
Yeah, I used hard drugs, heroin, crystal meth, crack cocaine from, basically 17, 18 years old. Before that, it was like pills and cocaine and alcohol. But from about 17, 18 years old till I was 26 when I got sober. And I was just like a lost puppy, like completely lost. Like you think about a decade or more of using drugs. I've been under the influence for over a decade. And then you come back and you get sober and you're just fucking terrified of everything, everybody. My self-esteem is awful. I'm terrified. I'm terrified to talk to people. I'm terrified to make friends. I'm terrified to talk to girls. I'm terrified of what people are going to think about me. I'm terrified my history is going to affect my life. And then getting into this running community where I was accepted. I was accepted like I was accepted in the drug community. Like, come on, like whatever, just come on, you're in. And that's truly what I was looking for the whole time. Going back a little further, when I was a kid, middle school, high school, when I started using, I did it for the attention because I got a whole lot of attention from it. Negative attention, but it was attention. I didn't get attention doing well in sports. I didn't get attention doing well in school. I got attention from being bad. And so the drugs were just a part of that. And then I got addicted, obviously. Sobering up, this community, they accepted me with open arms. And not only that, they invited me places. They showed me how to do things. And that kind of set up my whole, what's the good word? It just set me up for my future, like moving forward. Now, a decade later, I ask for help all the time in my career, in running. My coach, Jeff, I literally ask for help, and that happened early on in running because I needed help. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I got my work ethic. All of my friends, everything good in my life has some connection to the running community. BPN, my wife, my career was inspired by a runner who sat down with me for weeks, once a week, just to like mentor me. My attorney I met through running. Like literally everything good in my life has come from running, and specifically the Austin running community. So my priorities, my wife, my dogs, my career, the running community, whatever I can do for that. And I do think that what I do in this sport helps promote the community, and it helps me. It has helped me become someone that people look up to, And because of that, I can use that, not power, but I can use that to help other people and welcome other people.
Right.
And I do that. If I see somebody new at any running group, even if I'm new to the running group, and I know most of the people in the community, if I see someone new, I go talk to them. And this is just one little thing to add on. Everybody new that I meet, I ask them when they moved here, because most likely they're new if I haven't seen them. And I say, why did you move here? And they're like, oh, well, I had heard about Austin. And I was like, did it exceed your expectations? Absolutely. It exceeds everybody's expectations. Everyone moves here to be a part of this, the people in my direct sphere, they move here to be a part of this community, to be fit, to be active outside and have fun. And it exceeds everybody's expectations. It's the community, the people in it, the stuff that we do, the grit and the competition and the hardworkingness of most everybody. And I think it's contagious. And I think Austin over the last 5 years our community has grown so much with new people from out of town wanting to be a part of something. And I think BPN had a huge part. My belief, Nick started the hybrid movement. Like I really truly believe that. Like he is the inspiration.
Who else would it be?
That's what I'm saying. And so like, and kind of going back to what we were talking about, some of the people are like, oh, hybrid's not runner, like blah, blah, blah. Hybrid is just an athlete. But like, what the fuck does it matter? These are all people who would not have been active in endurance sports and now are.
Yeah.
And how is that not incredible? Like whatever it was that got them there. And not only just it's good for your life. Like it's good for your health. You're going to live longer. You're going to feel better. All of these benefits that are just like indirect of this community. And so, yeah, priorities.
Yeah.
And they shift. My priorities shift. Running at one point was one of my highest priorities. It's a little lower now. I've learned that I don't necessarily have to be the fastest to make an impact and to be involved and to, get these things that I've gotten from this community and in my life. I just need to be a part of it. I need to be friendly and I need to work hard. And all of that is plenty.
Makes so much sense. How I view it as God puts seasons and chapters in your life and 100%. Your priorities shift. Oh. Like for me, I'm enjoying this chapter now because I'm like, when I'm married and have kids, there are certain trips I won't go on.
1,000%.
I can't run, go to the gym and sauna every day, probably. That's maybe. Right. But if my kid's crying at 2 a.m.,
that's right.
I might cut some stuff.
And that's okay.
Yeah, and that's okay. And I think the problem is people beat themselves up when their life when they were 23 doesn't look the same when they're 35. And it's like it should shift. And it should shift in a good way. Mm-hmm. That makes sense for that season. In terms of the addiction, that chapter of your life, I'll kind of keep that vague because you speak about it on so many other episodes, so I don't want to bore you or relive too much of that. And so I recommend anyone out there watching, just look up Mitch's name. I'm sure you've talked about it on Nick's podcast. Yeah,
I'm very open about it.
Yeah. In regards to that, though, why do you think that people fall into addiction?
That's a great question.
And more to add on than just drugs, but like literally food is an addiction now. Our phones are an addiction Big now. Time. Porn is an addiction. Mm-hmm. Like it's so much more than just drugs and alcohol.
I have thought about this specifically for myself and why I did it. I don't really know. I have some ideas. I think one of the big ones was boredom. I'm very ADHD. Anybody that knows me can tell you that I'm extremely ADHD. I have to be doing something, talking to someone, not entertained, but just like stimulated, or I like lose my shit. I think that's a big reason why I got into drugs, because it can numb that. I think that's a big reason why I'm so into running, because I'm doing something. Like I can go run for however long, and that is a time that I'm doing something and focused on something, and I'm not worried about it. I'm not being ADD. But why do people get addicted? I mean, there's arguments that it's genetic and it's out of my control. I feel like there's a genetic aspect of it, but I think it was more so like I sought it out and then got addicted. Like, why did I go do it in the first place? What was I looking for? I don't really know. And I do know that I can be addicted to food just as easy as I was addicted to drugs or sex, or attention is another one. And honestly, running, like I am 1,000% addicted to running. Watching a dopamine hit, like seeing my watch click at a fast mile is a rush of dopamine. Like I did that. And then the next one, a rush of dopamine. I think I heard this on a meme on Instagram, so take it for what it is. But this gal was talking about how people with ADHD have less naturally occurring dopamine. I literally seek dopamine all day long, whether it's running or my job or my Diet Coke or whatever it is. I'm going for it and I want it, and then I get it and I'm like, oh yeah, and then I'm looking for the next thing.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think I'm not addicted anymore. I'm not addicted to drugs.
You're addicted to better things.
Yeah, better. I mean, and running could be a bad addiction. Like I've seen it 1,000 times. It doesn't look like an addiction, but people that I used to restrict and I used to run 1,000 miles to be skinnier, that was a bad addiction. That was not healthy. I got hurt. I got worn out. I got overtrained. Now I don't restrict a single thing. I eat garbage and I still get better. So I think there's a very healthy balance, and it doesn't really matter. Like I used to be obsessed with calories and macros and all that shit. Now I literally eat garbage and I drink Diet Coke all day long, and this is like the past couple of years, and I still get better. Like it's about the work, but yeah, the addiction thing is I'm stumped on it.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of little. It's probably accumulation of a lot of little things. For sure,
it's never one thing. It's rarely black and white.
But I think probably it all has to do with self-esteem and fear.
Yeah.
Things that you get addicted to take your mind off of what you're thinking about yourself. And probably still today. Like I am confident, but I have moments of low self-esteem, and I have moments of like, are they going to like me? And I have moments of, will I be accepted all the fucking time? I have to correct those thoughts. And I say, you know what? If I'm not, who gives a shit? Like,
yeah.
I'm happy where I'm at. I have my closest friends. I've got my closest friends, my family.
Yeah.
And I consider a whole lot of people family. Like my family, yeah, they're great. My friends that I met in this community are my freaking family. They are there for me no matter what. Any time of the day, I could call any single one of them and they'd be there for me.
So many thoughts off of that. My mentor, he was the first ever podcast guest. He's now an assistant coach at Nike. He walked me through this study. He goes, you put someone in a lab who does drugs, and then you put someone in a lab who swims and looks at a line for 3 hours every day. It's very similar things happening in your brain.
Yeah.
And I thought of that when you were talking about running. I think the key is be rooted and know your identity when you're pursuing something like running or swimming.
For sure.
Like drugs are inherently bad. Running is not inherently bad. You can do overrunning. Any amount of drugs is overdoing drugs. For sure. In my opinion. Yeah. And so I think with running, it's like what kills me is when kids specifically draw their identity from a performance or making a state meet. And that's where, do you know Andrew Weeding?
Yeah.
Stud back in the day. He has this line that he said the first time we ever did a podcast with each other. Running is what you do. It's not who you are.
Yeah, big time.
And I think if you learn that at any age, even if you're a 50-year-old in the Austin community, like running is just a part of your day, just like you eat breakfast or just like you say hi to your neighbors. It's something you do. And I think the problem is like we've put, you making the trials or someone breaking 3 or someone running their first 5K on these pedestals rather than like, hey, are you progressing? Are you happy? Are you enjoying your running? This pastor, I don't know if you know Upper Room in Dallas, but Peter Lewis, he's one of the founding members. Crazy story of how we got connected, but he said this thing on our podcast. He's new to running, so he's like total honeymoon phase with running.
Yeah.
But he goes, God told me that if you're running too fast to the point where you can't smile, you got to slow down. And I love that.
I like that too.
It's really good.
At the end of the day, it's for fun. It's a hobby. It's for health, right? Like that's what it is really. Yeah. All of everything else is a bonus. The friends, the competition, the race wins, all of that is a bonus. It's a hobby to make us better people at the end of the day. Yeah, that's really good. I like that.
Well, it's like, why did you get started in running in the first place? And then going back to that moment, back to that day and saying these current things I care about, would this version of myself care about? And it's like, probably not. And that doesn't mean drop those things. Correct. But it means maybe drop the amount of weight you're putting on it. Absolutely. So I go back to myself in kindergarten and I was just like, I enjoyed running. Sure, there was some aspect I was good at it, so I enjoyed it for that reason. But it was a very freeing activity. I enjoyed pushing my body. I enjoyed the exercise of it. I enjoyed competing with people, so a sense of community. And so now when I get too caught up in my head of like, oh, my heart rate was too high for XYZ easy run, it's like, who gives a shit? Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And I think that is my concern with how technological everything has become, is that we're making running into too much of a sport and not the pursuit of just like, it's just a very holistic activity.
I agree.
And I think that's being taken away a little bit.
I see it all the time when running is someone's identity. And if running can be taken away like that with an injury, and then what happens to your identity? You're mad, you're upset with yourself, and your identity's now missing, right? That is extremely, and I was heading that way. It was sort of like, if running's not going well, then I'm not okay. It just took some correcting and some like big picture stuff. Like, running is not my identity. It's what I do. It's what I do for health, honestly. Like, that's really the thing behind it. I mean, it's really fun, and I have grown to love everything about it in the community. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just to be healthier so I can live a long time. Yeah.
That goal you just stated could be multiple things. Why running specifically in regards to your health? Because you can go to the gym, you can walk.
Easiest.
It's the easiest.
It's the quickest. You can walk out the front door. It's the most accessible.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've been trying to get back in the gym the last 3 weeks. It's real hard. You got to get in the car and drive to the gym, and then get out, and yeah, it's not as easy as just walking out the front door and running. It's like my happy hour in the morning, right? Like, I meet my friends every single morning. I have a group that I meet every single morning, every single day, and they all show up just like I do.
So unique. That's what makes Austin unique, because I think most people don't have that privilege.
Any day of the week, there's a group that you can join.
But I think, and I'll say to a listener out there, like, you can be the person who starts that.
For sure. Yeah. Anywhere.
Yeah. And I think people put Nick's remarkable, you're remarkable, these people in this community are remarkable, but on a pedestal to an extent that they shouldn't be. Yeah. You know, we're all humans at the end of the day.
Yeah, you make a great point, because I get a lot of messages like regarding running. Like, I understand where I came from and where I am now is inspiring, because it was very, very hard. Yeah. And it was literally couldn't be more than what a 180 is, like going this way and now I'm going this way. But as far as running, like, I'm genetically gifted, right? Like, I have great genetics. There is a 4-hour marathoner who works just as hard as I do, and they're never going to be a 2:16 marathoner because they just don't have the genetics. So I try and like rein people back and be like, look, you work just as hard as I do. This PR is just as important to you as it is to me. We're just the same. Genetically a little different. That's just how it is. I can't help that. Neither can you. But the work ethic is, anyone can do that. Like, it doesn't take a gift of great genetics to work really hard. Right. And that goes for anything. And running has taught me, and I'll just touch on this. Running has taught me how to excel everywhere. So when I got into running, I was a bum, majorly. I ate like garbage. I eat like garbage now, but I ate like garbage. I just took care of myself horribly. I smoked a pack of cigarettes a day. I was not motivated for anything. I was not disciplined. I showed up to work when I had to do the bare minimum and get by. I started running. I started seeing what it was like to work for something months down the road. After doing that a few times, that translated into my life. And so now in my career, like, the shit I'm working on now isn't going to pay off for months down the road. And I'm fine with that. The instant gratification piece is basically gone. And that's all because of running. Like, everything I'm working towards patiently because of running.
I don't know if there's any sport that is a greater corollary to life than running or endurance sports.
I completely agree.
Yeah. You would have a very hard time trying to connect the dots between life and football or life and soccer. Running in so many aspects, I think, is so similar to life. And because of that, I think the people who are runners do so well in so many other aspects.
I'm literally just thinking this in my head.
Yeah.
Most likely, in most situations, a group of runners, it's hard. Running's hard, no matter what. You can go ride your bike for 50 miles, and it won't be as hard as a 10-mile run. Because on a bike, you can just stop pedaling when you get tired. You still go. On a run, you're running the whole time. What were we just saying? This was important.
Running is corollary to life.
Yes. So anybody that's running most likely has a work ethic outside of running that is similar, and they probably excel in other aspects of their life. So truly, like, I talk about Austin as a great human pool, but our fitness community, like, it's hard workers, it's good people, and they excel in running and then everywhere else as well. It's just the type of person that it attracts. Anyone who's willing to do, in Texas, you have to run early in the morning. Like, you have to, because it's too goddamn hot. Anyone who's willing to wake up and do that work in this hot, humid climate, they're probably very hard workers in all aspects. So I do think that, just like you said, like that was spot on. I was thinking it in my head. We have such a quality pool of humans in our community because of that.
And you can assume certain things. If you had to wake up early, that means you had to do certain stuff the night before. That means
exactly.
you had to,
exactly.
And so it's a whole lifestyle.
It is.
And that's why I think running changes people's lives, because you start the sport and you think it's just running a mile and then you're a runner. But what ultimately happens is you start getting fascinated with running faster. So you start running a little bit more, and then your legs are a little bit tired. So you figure out recovery modalities. You figure out sauna, cold plunge, going to the gym will help you.
You figure out how to deal with tired legs.
Yeah,
you
just figure out what to eat to fuel yourself better. You figure out you need to sleep more, and soon enough you have these habits and routines, and then those start to creep into the other things that matter to you. So it's like you can show up more. And nothing has prepared me more to deal with conflict in relationships than running.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And ultras, it's problem solving.
Yeah.
Like what problem's going to happen next? How am I going to fix it so I can keep going?
Right.
You said that. So all of that, you said that so well. Like I've always thought that sort of thing, but you put it into words very well.
Thank you, man.
That was cool. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Running's so special. And, I do wonder sometimes if I was in another sport at a young age, would I care as passionately about it? But I played soccer growing up. I played basketball growing up. And I think what I loved was running is just such a pure, natural sport. You do it and you feel like this is right. You play soccer or basketball. It's so dependent on other people. There's so many team dynamics, and there's beauty in those aspects.
Sure,
but I was the type of guy that would go multiple times a week. We had this loop in my neighborhood that was a mile, and I would try to be on the mile every week. And there was that's where I'm like, I should probably get a brain scan because there's something psychotic. And second grade, I would have to convince one of my siblings, because we lived in a safe neighborhood, but at second grade, I was scared of other people. So I'd convince one of my siblings to ride their bike with me, and I would just rip. And there was one time in sixth grade, I ran, or it may have been fifth grade, I ran 5:41, and it was a massive PR, but I was pissed that I didn't break 5:40. And I ran it at 2 p.m. And so then at 7 p.m. I went out and tried to do it again. Of course I didn't, because I didn't understand physiology, that I'd be tired. Yeah. But that's the only sport where there's such a freeing feeling. If you're a listener, go out and run a mile all out. It'll kill you. It will. You'll feel it in your lungs. But the feeling after the fact of I felt alive, you don't really get in anything else.
I'm curious to know if other people do feel that way.
Yeah.
Other people that aren't runners. I think so, because why would people keep doing it, right? There's
communal aspects. You show up the people I know who show up to 6 a.m. hoops, community exercise. Yeah. You kind of get that in running.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anyone's I love the way the ball leaves my hands.
Right.
But you hear runners say, I love the sound of the pavement. I love the... So in terms of, that's where I feel like running is actually poetry in motion, is how I call it.
Yeah, and
it is poetic.
It's so cliche and silly to me, but it's just so true. I've always thought, and I'm I feel silly when I say running saved my life, changed my life. It's just so simple. It's such a simple thing, running, right? And it is so huge, and it's just a little silly. And when because I say it all the time. I say it all the time. But it's true. It's the truth. Yeah. It literally is. And it happened for me. It's happened for so many others. I got a inbox of messages of people who've told me very similar stories. Drug addiction or alcoholism or whatever it was, got sober, got into running, that stuff was gone.
I have a piece of advice for you before we wrap this up. After this, go on if you don't do this already, go on your Apple Notes app, title it Proof of Impact, take screenshots, and just layer them. Because when you have those feelings of insecurity or lack of confidence, go right to that document, and it's proof.
Yeah.
That's proof of impact. Because for me, I've always gotten these messages and sometimes screenshotted them, but I haven't had that central place.
Yeah.
And I think I saw on a podcast or someone said do that, and I loved that idea.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because you can just directly go to the source and say, okay. Because the thing is, I don't know of anyone who's anyone who says they're fully confident or never a little insecure is they're telling you a lie.
They're probably the most insecure.
Yeah, literally.
Seriously.
Yeah. And so I think that's been a helpful practice for me to combat it. And that's I think great. For you to look to, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Shut up those thoughts. And that's the big battle, man, is Everyone has those thoughts. I think some people demonize themselves that they have negative thoughts.
Yeah.
You never should demonize yourself. What you shouldn't do is entertain the thoughts.
For sure. Yeah.
So it's like in a workout,
They're
hard
always
workout.
Gonna creep
yeah,
in.
you're gonna have the thought, I want to stop, but don't entertain it.
Right.
Don't stop.
That's right.
And I think it's a similar thing for confidence or I think for me, something that's helped is like, who is the person I want to become, and then what are the qualities I want to embody.
That's good.
It's like when I walk in these doors, like, what's the ideal Dominic do? How does he invest in people? How does he love people? How does he sacrifice for people? Okay, do all those things.
How do I? Yeah.
Because so many people are just they walk aimlessly. They literally wake up one day alive and then they die, and there's no awareness of action, thought, how they treat people. There might be some key moments or markers, but you'd be shocked. You wouldn't, because I know you're aware, but the amount of people just go,
forever, bro. yeah, aimlessly.
Yeah, and I think the key is to be self-aware enough to say, whoa, I am on this life for a limited amount of time. What do I do? How do I make people feel? What's my impact? What's my legacy?
Every move I make is intention.
Yeah.
Is by intention, and yeah.
I think Jordan said it, it's in Nick's book, but a lack of intentionality leads to a repetition of what's easiest or something like that.
That sounds right.
Yeah. I was like, that's so good.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, because if you're not intentional, again, you just...
What's the point? You're wandering aimlessly.
And most people's baseline for wandering aimlessly is like not that great.
Yeah.
And you and I wander aimlessly in our days, but the key is, have we programmed ourselves enough that our wandering aimlessly is at least in a decent direction?
That's right. Yeah. That's actually much better. I'm still wandering aimlessly, just in the right direction.
Yeah. Wrapping this up because of time, I'll have to get you back on.
Sure.
Because I feel like we could talk for like 5 hours.
This is great.
Final advice for people out there to help you out, just someone who wants more out of their life.
I mean, this is my advice every single time, whether it's running, whether it's whatever, find a community. Find a community and someone in a group that likes what you like or loves what you love, and y'all will be instant friends. And like, man, every time, and it's cliche and it's silly, just like that other stuff, but it has community has changed my life, like transformed it. And it's just because I put myself out there and was friendly with people, and it just works. So I mean, find a community, find something you love. I learned this, at least, well, maybe I didn't learn it, but I've assumed this, that everything catastrophic, my whole past of addiction and whatever, all of that horrible shit that I got into, what that meant to me was as catastrophic as an event in anybody's life. Like, whether on paper it was actually as bad, it was as bad to them, right? And so everyone's got something in their childhood, in their young adult, it doesn't matter. Everyone's got something that they're trying to heal from or get over or whatever. And I found the help in the community. Like, that's hands down community.
It's amazing, man. Final question for you. You might not have a response, so you can skip it.
Sure.
What's one question you've always wanted to be asked, but you've never been asked before?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I usually just get questions and I don't know the answer to them. What's a question I've never been asked? Oh, man. Why am I so nuts?
Why are you so nuts,
like,
Mitch?
Not like, oh, you're an inspiration. Bro, why are you so crazy? Because that's really what it is. It's just, my wife tells me every day, I'm fucking nuts, man. You got to be a little nuts.
Yeah.
To do this kind of stuff.
I'll leave you with a thought. Get your thought on it.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be exceptional. Very few people realize that the root of that word, the first half, is what? Exception.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like everyone, you are, by definition, average.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like everyone, you are therefore, by definition, not an exception.
Mm.
And so you are only exceptional because you're nuts. You're only exceptional because most other people aren't nuts. Most people, including myself at this time in life, can't fathom running 120 miles a week, waking up at the hours you do, putting in the work you do. Just like a lot of people would look at today and say, I have no clue how you're going to do 4 podcasts and work out and all of that. Yeah. To me, I'm just like, it's just life. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And that's where I think as a human, if you're listening, watching, whatever, learning, what do you just naturally gravitate towards? What is your form of nuts?
Right.
Lean into that, because that's actually what makes you exceptional. Yeah. What doesn't make you exceptional, what makes you average, is when you try to fit in, because you're just like everyone else. And I think that's where I'm so big on people taking action on their what ifs. Like my core motto is turn your what ifs into reality.
Yeah.
Because everyone has a unique dream or spin, maybe similar to someone else's, but just unique enough that it's different. You lean into that. That's your X marker. That's how you make money. That's how you create legacy. That's how you create impact. That's how you attract people like your wife or your friends who become family.
For sure.
We wouldn't be sitting here, if we're being honest, if you were just an average Joe.
That's right.
You know, so lean into that.
That last paragraph was freaking poetic, dude. You got away with words. That was impressive. You literally have put things that I've thought about and just put them into perfect words.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good to hear, man. Blessed by that.
Thank
Final
you.
question for you.
Oh, sure.
Question I ask every guest, every single podcast. I don't know why I ask it, but I asked it when I started and it's just stuck. If you had Gordon Ramsay coming over to your house for dinner, what would you choose to make for him?
What would I make for him?
Yeah, you're cooking for Gordon.
Oh, man. All I know how to cook is a rice bowl.
That works?
I got a little no, it's not little. It's the biggest one. The Blackstone griddle.
Okay.
Iron griddle. I love it. And all I do is cook rice bowls. I cook steak and chicken on it and throw it in a rice bowl.
I love it.
That's all I do.
And final question for you. Thoughts, takes, mind, heart, soul going into the premiere tomorrow. Are you stoked, man?
Yeah, I am stoked, and obviously I'd love to see my part in it and all that. But man, Kim and Kendall, like, I don't know if people understand how epic that was. Like, there's been faster or longer last man standing, not in that heat and not in that humidity. I was baffled by how many people from out of town stayed in it as long as they did, because it was so fucking hot. You had to drink at least 1,000 milligrams of sodium every lap or you're done for. And so, yeah, I am extremely excited to see it. Just, I think, and the other thing is, like, the media guys, like George and Ian, they're unbelievable. Everything they touch is
gold.
Yeah, every time. So, yeah, very excited. Can't wait for, I'm doing the 50 miler, the BPN 50 miler. I'm going to send it. I'm training for it. I'm coming for it. So, yeah, let's go.
Watch out, guys.
Yeah.
Watch out. Mitch is coming for it all. Mitch, thank you. Thank you for your time. Always blessed by your words, your story, and I have been for years. Loved listening to you on other podcasts. So, in some sense, this is full circle, and keep being the bright light you are to the world, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Tom. It was great.